Well, glory be and mercy me, we've done it yet again. Here we are, walk around the graveyard. Apologize if there's audio concerns. A bit windy today, a bit gloomy as you can see, kind of a gloomy sky. But we're making it happen, we're getting outside, we're doing our walk for our mental health, for amongst other things. I mean, I am getting to a point, guys, where I'm starting to wonder, like, what more can be said about this situation that we find ourselves in? What more do I need to talk about? What more do I need to articulate? What more can I say? Oh, we've got a light rain going on here. Climate change is going to destroy us. It's not going to be close. It's not going to be a steady, gradual sort of a thing. It's not going to be a, oh, well, it's getting slightly warmer, so we'll just turn up the AC, right? We're going to experience enormous spikes. Those spikes are going to light up infrastructure. They are going to burn things down quickly, significantly. When the town of Lytton burnt down, it happened so quickly that they weren't able to get the fire trucks out of the fire hall. And what are we doing about it? We're just pretending. How do people cope in this kind of environment, in this kind of diluted, false space? How are we dealing with living in a world where the people are actively attempting to destroy themselves? That they're doing everything they can, everything they possibly can, in order to break the rules, to defy the will of the universe, or the will of God, if you're a spiritual type, a Christian type. How do we cope? I think that's the only question worth asking. How do we cope? 30% of the society denies that the problem exists, are hyper-deluded, have gone full psychopathic. That's the Conservative Party, in complete denial, blaming everybody around them, blaming individuals, blaming every single person they possibly can, except perhaps even themselves, right? That's the hysterical paradox of modern day conservatism, is that that sounds like a you problem, right? While driving gigantic, big, gas-guzzling trucks, while spewing as much poison and pollution, demanding that we build more pipelines, demanding that we do more to destroy the species. And then when we turn around and say, oh, hey, we're destroying the species, they say, well, that sounds like a you problem. This psychotic mindset has been fully adopted by 30% of the populace. The other 30% of the populace, this is the liberals, have deluded themselves into a pretend play world where they believe that they can, we'll just make a couple of electric cars. I know what we'll do. We'll do carbon capture technology that actually pollutes more than it extracts. Oh, and incidentally, the carbon we extract, we use to get more fossil fuels, right? That's what we're doing with that. So there's a 30% group of the populace who believes that we can just negotiate our way out of it, that the sun will be understanding, right? So we've got 30% psychotic, 30% delusional, and the rest of the population, right, can't even pay their bills. We've got new polling data coming out saying that 30 to 35% of the populace is not able to keep up with the bills, able to keep up with inflation, able to keep up with the outright destruction of the economy, the outright destruction of the civil society, right? And in the meantime, what are we going to do? Oh, we're going to vote Doug Ford back in. We're going to vote Justin Trudeau back in, right? We're going to vote the people who are causing the problem back in. I mean, it's like watching a form of Stockholm Syndrome at this point. I don't know what can be said any longer. Can people even be convinced? What would convince people that the issues that we're facing need to be confronted seriously? that the solution to the problem isn't to pretend as though we're going to do something, or to even invent something or create something. It's to stop doing what we're doing, right? That in my experience, if the problem is that you're polluting too much, the best way to stop polluting is to stop polluting. Very, very simple, very straightforward. But we live in a system of capital where the psychopaths at the top, the owners of the society, who have laid claim to the land, the air, the water, the trees, the electricity, the power structure, right? The psychopaths at the top of it don't care about resolving these issues. I actually feel like what we're looking at is a deep, deep human psychological issue. That what has happened is that the people at the very top of it, the wealthiest people, have become so detached from reality, so unmoored from what actually matters, from the natural world itself, that they no longer care about the outcome. That they've become so narcissistic and so incapable of understanding their place in the universe that they view themselves as the center of the universe. To use a video game analogy, they don't see themselves as playing a multiplayer game where everybody in it is a player as well. They see themselves as the character in a single player game, and that the rest of us are just NPCs, non-player characters, right? That we exist exclusively and solely for their benefit. That we are not actually conscious beings capable of our own opinions, ideas, or insights, right? We exist exclusively for the benefit of wealthy psychopathic narcissists. And if you are in this position of ownership and you see that the world is going to kill you, because that's the way of it, right? The earth chews you up eventually, the universe chews you up eventually, right? Well, then you see that as a problem. You're incapable of humbling yourself to the power of the universe. You're incapable of actually acknowledging that there are forces grander than yourselves. This is why the central conservative ethos is that you can just bootstrap your way to success, because they're so narcissistic, they're incapable of humbling themselves to the powers of the universe, all while clutching a book that tells them the exact opposite is true. And if you have that ethos, well, then you might as well destroy the place on your way out, right? That, oh, if this place is going to kill me, the obvious center of the universe, the reason the universe exists, well then, I'm going to destroy it on the way out. And there's no reason not to, because it only exists for my benefit. This kind of outlook is all that's left. I have to conclude that this is what's happening in our society, because it's the only thing that makes any sense anymore. It's the only thing that makes any goddamn sense whatsoever. Take a look at Elon Musk, for example, right? Elon Musk is setting himself up to grift the populace, but he keeps saying he wants to buy Twitter. $43 billion. Well, that's essentially the same amount of money it would cost to end world hunger. That the people who have studied the issue have actually asked him. He has actually said to them, well, come forward with a plan and I'll donate $6 billion. He's not going to do that, obviously. Narcissists aren't capable of that kind of empathy or compassion, but it looks good, right? It lets the simps cheer when they go and cheer for the son of an apartheid emerald miner, right? So I find myself looping back around to the question, how do we deal with this? How do we live in a world that is like this, that is actively seeking to abandon us, that's actively seeking to destroy us? Not only destroy us, but destroy our futures, the future of our children, the future of future generations, any kind of growth, reasonable civil society, anything like this. How do we live in this world? Why are we still participating in it? Why? How are people getting out of bed, getting into their cars which are destroying them, driving to do the jobs that are destroying them, to go home to watch television that convinces them that they're worthless and all they have to do is keep consuming and subserviating themselves to a death cult in order to go to sleep, wake up, and do it again? How? How are we doing it as a people? Why are we doing it? What benefit do we gain? We're not even gaining our survival any longer. 30% of us can't even pay our bills anymore. What do we get it? Why are we doing it? This is why I think we need to protest en masse. Got a protest coming up on Wednesday. If you're here in Toronto, 11:30 Eastern Standard Time, 931 Yonge Street. We're going to shut Yonge Street down for a few hours. We're protesting for the disabled who have been abandoned completely. These are dark days. These are dark days. Made all the worse by the delusion. I'm having regular conversations with people who I can only describe as deluded. Literally watching their house burn down, saying, oh, you just need to work harder. Not stop doing the things that are burning your house down. Not let's stop the house burning down. But literally like putting on their pajamas to go to sleep in their burning house. This causes trauma to us, psychic damage to us, that can only be responded to at this point through protest, through surrounding the halls of power, through a cessation of our participation. It's the only thing we have left. And people turn around and tell me, when I say these sorts of things, oh, just get a job. No. I'm not going to participate in the destruction of my own children, my own nieces and nephews, my own family. I'm not going to participate in the destruction of my country. I'm not going to participate as my country sets itself on a path of its own self-immolation. And when you say, just get a job, you might as well be saying, just enslave yourself to a death cult that's actively seeking to destroy itself, and you with it. No, absolutely not. I refuse. And the very fact that our society doesn't permit people to refuse tells you that you live in a slave society. You live in a society that withholds food and shelter so that you can never actually meaningfully stand up against your owners. You always have to work for them. And the proponents of the system are so deluded that they actually say that this is voluntary. If I was under the age of 20, I would be doing daily walkouts of schools. I would be on a permanent strike. I would not participate, and I would call those who do morons. At best, morons. We need to fight back. One of the ways that you can, very simply, like, share, subscribe. Hit the bells, hit the whistles. We've got to be supporting leftist voices. We're getting to the point now where the only leftists that are actually allowed in the discussion, or the only people who are allowed in the discussion, are literal fascists and liberals who bend the knee to them. We got to do better. All right, guys. Always remember, you are a quantum being walking around in quantum energy. The billionaire class is spending hundreds of billions of dollars to make sure you never realize it. Just stay the good little commodity they want you to be. Rebel, revolt, repent. Good luck. we're going to need it.